Now, one of the things that I did that I actually think was pretty helpful is pretty soon into my time at Apple, I realized that I was unlikely to be happy working on a product that it would be random luck if I found a product that someone else had constructed that I wanted to work on. It was possible, but it was really kind of rolling the dice and seeing. And I was like, well, but if I started the product myself, I had a much higher likelihood of being there. And it wasn't so much I had to own it as much as it had to be a project that I thought this would have the right kind of characteristics. And so I wrote out a very long list of skills. I said, what are all the skills that I would need in order to start a product? And then I started volunteering for projects that would allow me to play those skills. So I would literally, like there was all kinds of different work at Apple and then later Fujitsu that they would say, well, we need someone to do X. And I was like, I'll do that, because I would look at that and I go, oh, actually, the skills of doing that work are something that I figure I wanted to pick up.
That's really interesting, because I don't know a lot of people who do what you just described, but it sounds extremely powerful. I mean, I'm guessing a lot of the things on the list are things that you might have even cringed at, that like weren't in your comfort zone.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because it was an exhaustive, the way I did it is I went and talked to a bunch of smart people. Like for example, some of my mentors at Apple were, Jonathan Rosenberg and James Isaacs. And I said, okay, to do this, what are the skills I need? And they say, well, you need to have product management skills. I'm like, okay, so I'll write down product management, but how do you break down product management? Like, what are those skills? And so, well, you need to have spec products, and you need to understand what the support requirements would be, and you need to understand the engineering feasibility of it, and you need to understand, it was like, right, so.
So you were just kind of a vacuum of knowledge, and and then you. So you were at Apple, and then you went into another Fujitsu.
Yes.
It was another kind of social, and this one is
worlds away. It was a virtual world.
Your future collaborator Peter Thiel, I think, called this 7 years or 8 years ahead of its time.
Well, it may even be much longer than that.
More than 10, 15 years.
We still don't have really interesting virtual worlds. It's still TBD,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I did that because it fit the how do we create a community and a society together. Community products, network products were interesting to me. The other thing I had realized when I was doing all the skills indexing is I thought that it was likely that in order to create the product I wanted, I would have to start a business. And so starting a business meant I would have to raise money from investors, venture capitalists. So I then went and studied, okay, what happens, what kinds of people do venture capitalists fund? And I was like, well, generally speaking, the ideal kind of target for venture capital financing is one business person, one tech person. Two founders with a product that has a unique position in the market that can grow into that and has a competitive edge, that the founder is capable of doing that. I said, okay, well, I'll either have to be the tech person or the business person. And I was like, well, I'd rather actually be the business person than the tech person. How do I do that? Well, I need to have experience with a P&L. I need to have experience with kind of running a whole project. I need to have product experience. And so Fujitsu said, okay, well, you can do all that here. And so I took the job at Fujitsu in order to do that.